This week on Vallo Vision News, tuition freeze. UM's Board of Trustees has approved a freeze for the next academic year. And tuition costs aren't the only thing they froze. Plus, recent heavy rains have caused issues with flooding at Orr Park, and there's more wet weather in the forecast. We talked to Montevallo officials about the issues. And Adele makes a surprising announcement about her next album. Vallo Vision News starts right now. Hello and welcome to Vallo Vision News. I'm Kelly Garrett. Thanks so much for watching. The university will freeze tuition rates again this year for the second year in a row. The Board of Trustees voted to not raise tuition or housing costs for the upcoming school year. In-state undergraduate tuition is $403 per credit hour, and out-of-state tuition is $837 an hour. President John Stewart says Montevallo's tuition freeze is yet another example of our family of learners putting students first. Flooding at Orr Park has been an issue for many years. I took a look at what causes the flooding and what residents should do when it happens again. The creek at Orr Park is notorious for flooding when it rains multiple days in a row. Water markings on the post near the creek show where water levels have reached over the last few years. This bridge here is often left underwater, which causes damage to the wood and its structure. The City of Montevallo Parks and Rec Director Shane Ball says there are many factors for why the creek floods like it does.
Most of our city water drains straight into the creek. That's not wastewater or anything, just gutter water. So anytime it rains up there, that's kind of up on a hill, so it's come in and flows through that ditch there. Then you have a combination of Shoal Creek and Dry Creek that meet, and Spring Creek meet, and then they all flow through to here too. So you've got basically 4 inlets coming in of a lot of water, and then when it rains, 2 inches in 45 minutes, there's really nowhere for it to go.
When the creek here at Orr Park does flood, rainwater can reach all the way up to here and into nearby neighborhoods, and it's these barriers that are keeping visitors out of the park.
The creek gets up to where it makes the roads impassable. It's hard to get kids to school and as far as getting to work and washing out the roads and stuff like that. And sometimes it has really a bad effect.
The creek flooding at Orr Park has a bad effect on the entire park. Debris from the roadway and tree branches are washed into the creek and left until someone is able to come to clean it up. While the creek at Orr Park isn't flooded right now, that might not be the case later this week. Tuesday has a 100% chance of rain across the state and a possibility of thunderstorms. According to the National Weather Service, rain is expected to continue Wednesday and into next week. Remember, if the park is flooded, do not try to enter or drive through the floodwaters. It could be deeper than expected. FIMU is hosting its self-defense seminar tonight with guest speaker Brian Kellogg. He'll talk about the legalities of self-defense techniques and sexual assault prevention. The seminar starts at 7 p.m. in Harmon 218, and it's geared towards women, but anyone is welcome to attend. College Night Leader nominations for the 2021 season were announced Sunday night. Running for female Purple Side Leader are Brianna Hamblin and Maggie James. Purple Side candidates are Lavon Lloyd Thompson and Mars Peterson. Running for Gold Side Female Leader are Perry McCoy and Abby Jo Askins. And male Gold Side Leader candidates are Sergio Flores Jr. and Jonathan Everhart. Students who were on College Night eligibility this season will be able to vote later this semester. The Student Government Association applications are now open. If you're interested in running for an executive cabinet position, pick up a packet at Student Life, fill it out, and return it by March 6th. Candidates for president, vice president, and treasurer will be voted on by the entire student body. Senior class president will be voted on by rising seniors, and other positions will be appointed from the applicants by the new president. For a complete list of positions, see the flyer on our Instagram. The University of Montevallo's UPC will be hosting a comedian, Eric O'Shea, on February 19th. The free event will take place on Farmer Hall stage from 6 to 7 p.m. The Hispanic Student Organization is hosting a salsa showdown this Tuesday. Tables will be set up in Farmer from 4:30 to 6. For $1, you can taste test and vote on your top 3 salsas. Prizes will be awarded to the first, second, and third place salsa winners. UM's Mass Communication program is hosting Media Day this week. Professionals and alumni from across the state will be on campus to network with students interested in media-related careers and internships. Media Day 2020 is this Wednesday. The networking fair starts at 10:30 in the Student Activity Center, followed by panels at noon. Momentum, the university's talk show, has been named the national finalist in the National Broadcasting Society 2020 Student Production Competition. The winners will be announced in early March at the NBS convention in Los Angeles. You can watch new Momentum episodes right here on Vallo Vision News Facebook page. Remember, there's always more news 24/7 on our social media pages. Just search for Vallo Vision News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for news stories throughout the week. Still ahead on Vallo Vision News, a campus parking policy requires students to pay parking tickets before having the option to appeal. We'll tell you why. And travel restrictions have some of China's major cities looking like ghost towns. The latest on efforts to get U.S. citizens out of the country. We'll be right back.
Covering our campus, our community,
And all the stories that matter to you.
This is Vallo Vision News.
Welcome back to Vallo Vision News. Campus parking is currently undergoing big changes, and a new policy requires that students pay parking tickets before being able to appeal them. Vallo Vision News reporter Nick Norris has the story.
The University of Montevallo is known for both its individuality and ingenuity. There are examples of this all over campus. But some students are worried UM is falling behind when it comes to campus parking.
In this area right here, it's kind of tough because a lot of times these spots are filled up on most days.
Last September, the university broke ground on a 10,000 square foot College of Business building, a project the UM believes will enhance the college's offerings. Though the building is generating excitement amongst business majors, it's not popular with everyone. Why? Because numerous parking spots are being sacrificed to create it. Due to the lack of parking, some commuter vehicles have ended up in places they aren't supposed to be, like spots belonging to faculty and residents. And violations like these usually lead to fines. Additionally, UM's parking ticket policy is not too popular either, as it requires offenders to pay the ticket off before they are allowed to appeal it. Officer Brian Brady explains the process.
So if you get a parking ticket here on campus that you don't feel you got rightfully, you go online, file your appeal, and then about once a month we have a parking review committee that meets. You'll go to the meeting, say whatever reason you think you got the ticket wrong, and then they ultimately decide on whether you pay the ticket or not.
The campus police department believes this appeal procedure is beneficial as it streamlines the process and allows the UMPD to focus on more pressing matters. Officer Brady says that even though parking isn't ideal for the moment, improvements are on the horizon.
When construction's done, we're going to reevaluate our parking based on numbers, what's available, how many students, so forth.
Reporting for Vallo Vision News, I'm Nick Norris.
Construction of the new $3.6 million College of Business building is expected to be completed sometime this year, and the parking spaces around the new building should reopen in time for the fall 2020 semester. Still ahead, racing to the top spot after fans called for a redesign of the character Sonic the Hedgehog is dominating the weekend box office. We'll be right back.
Montevallo is listed as one of the most beautiful public college campuses, but it has so much more than good looks. It's been named a College of Distinction 7 years running. Plus, it offers 75 majors and the chance to belong to more than 90 campus organizations. Visit youbelong at montevallo.com to learn more.
In health news, hundreds of Americans that were evacuated from the Diamond Princess cruise ship docked in Japan have returned to the States. 14 of them have been tested positive for the coronavirus. Camilla Bernal has the report from Washington.
First class, baby.
Two converted 747 U.S. government planes evacuating more than 300 Americans from Japan. Carrie Maniscalco from Utah documenting her journey.
We're all in really closed, tight quarters. Everybody's sitting next to each other. It seems dangerous and not safe.
But the U.S. government says they are safe, even though 14 passengers who tested positive for novel coronavirus were also allowed on the flight. After arriving in Texas and California, those 14 were taken to Nebraska. One was transported to the hospital. 13 are quarantined at the University of Nebraska Medical Center.
They're all going to be kept in their room because we're isolating them until we know the testing results.
The Americans all coming from the Diamond Princess, a cruise ship that had been under quarantine in Japan for almost 2 weeks. And now even the ones who did not test positive will have to do it all over again.
They just told us that we'd be re-quarantined for 14 more days.
Last week, the CDC said there were 15 confirmed cases in the U.S. That does not include the 14 passengers from Japan, as the CDC says those presumptive positive cases are being retested.
I've just lost a whole month of my life.
Globally, there have been more than 71,000 confirmed cases, and more than 1,700 have died. I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
Chinese officials are literally cleaning the cash in an attempt to combat the coronavirus. State-run media reports that some Chinese currency might even be destroyed to prevent the spread. According to the World Health Organization, the coronavirus can survive on surfaces for several hours. Up next, how the South Korean award-winning film Parasite is feasting on its Oscar victory. We'll be right back.
Create your future as a social media manager, filmmaker, journalist, and so much more with a degree in communication studies and mass communication. Visit montevallo.edu/COFA for more information. You belong at Montevallo.
In this week's entertainment news, Sonic the Hedgehog raced to the top of the weekend box office. It brought in $57 million in North America and about $100 million around the world. Sonic is expected to earn between $68 and $70 million throughout the President's Day holiday weekend. In other movie news, Parasite's strong performance at this year's Oscar gave the South Korean thriller a box office boost over the weekend. Ticket sales jumped 234%. That's the biggest financial bounce for any Best Picture winner in the last 10 years. Parasite won the Academy Award for Best Picture, Best International Feature, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Director. And finally this week, good news Adele fans, new music is on the way. The singer's next album will be released this September. Adele broke the news about her upcoming album over the weekend while she was officiating a wedding. Her last album, 25, was released in 2015. That's all the time we have for today's show. Remember, there's always more news 24/7 on our social media pages. Just search for Vallo Vision News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more stories throughout the week. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in to Vallo Vision News again next week.